Hello, all. I'm Alan. These are my chronicles. So Tim Dillon, comedian, I like him a lot, appeared on the Tucker Carlson interview, and he made me kind of do the following, and I'll explain why. He made me think about generational differences, entitlement, boomers, X, what are we really? Then he made me think about why do we have identity as employment, employment as identity, then retirement. Then he made me think about why won't people come to work. So I'm kind of going to lay it out. So Tim Dillon, he goes on, Tucker Carlson, does an interview. I liked it. I liked its depth and scope. And Tim Dillon's obviously an astute guy and intelligent. But it made me think about comedians. And then later on, Tucker Carlson released the clip, the 20 minutes of that section where Tim Dillon made Tucker Carlson laugh. And for a second, I was like, oh, hang on. Is Tucker laughing at or with Tim Dillon? And then I realised he's laughing with him because I don't think Tucker has that personality where he'd be so vindictive for clickbaity and kind of like retrospectively shitbaggy to sort of say, oh, I was laughing at him and he's an idiot. So one of the things that they got onto was about boomers. And to pull it all together, Tim Dillon was poking fun at boomers. That's the generation post-war up to 64. Yeah, I'm a Gen X, I'm 65 to 80. My parents were the silent generation pre-war. So, and there isn't a great deal of difference in the end of the boomer generation to the beginning of the Gen X. There isn't a lot of difference. Whereas the difference will increase in Gen X born in 65 to someone who considers them Gen X born in 78. I saw different things. I had a different experience. Yeah, I'm still apparently part of the same generation, which really grips my shit about generational. I think it's down to context, who you are as an individual. But Tim Dillon then says, oh, when he hears boomers talking about, and he quoted a couple of examples about, you know, I've worked all my life, and he sort of went to the pandemic where I think he said an auntie was like, everybody had to get the vaccine because she had worked all her life and she just wanted to go on vacation. She wanted to go on cruise and all of that. And then he made a remark about, but yeah, the reason why that sort of, he was poking fun at it, but kind of semi-seriously, I suspect, was, well, yeah, but everybody works all their life. So in the same breath of poking fun, he acknowledged what many would be considered a very conservative thing, the responsibility of working all your life. Yeah. So if that, you could argue sort of pre-war, right up to now, everything, I would say right up to the 80s, everything has been about work. And Sartre said it when he talked about identity in Heidegger. It was really, one of the things he would say was that I would identify myself by saying something like this in a conversation. Oh, hello, I'd be asked the question, what do you do for a living? Not who are you as a human being, what are your likes and dislikes, how do you view the world, how is your empathy, you know, do you want to save the whale, what do you think about the climate? It's like, what do you do for a living? So if I went on a date and it was somebody I didn't know, I kind of knew or I chatted to, and I hadn't done this already, it would be, oh, so what do you do for a living? Or if I was just meeting somebody and trying to talk to them, the conversation would evolve, whether it was male or female, what do you do for a living? And my answer would have been at the time, I would say, oh, I'm a soldier. And my next answer would be, oh, I work in retail, I work in supermarkets. Or it would be, actually one of the occasions was, I'm a toilet cleaner. Yeah. Sartre's point was, your identity isn't that. Your identity sits in front of what you do for a living. But that's not how I was brought up. And I don't know about Gen X, and I don't know about the boomers. Well, I do. It would be about your identity. But this generation is completely different. And he's right. So he says a very conservative thing in and amongst making jokes about the entitlement, or not entitlement. I don't think he was being that cruel about the not even arrogance. It's just about the forthrightness of somebody who's being a boomer saying, well, I want to retire. I want to go on holiday. I want to go and live in Florida, or here. I want to go and live in Devon and Cornwall in the UK, or I want to buy my own house. I don't want to do anything anymore. I've done everything because I've worked all my life. This generation, because it led me on to thinking, okay, what do I expect? And I'm supposedly Gen X. Well, I'm 60 coming up very soon. I do want to retire, but the erosion of my expectation that I have the right to retire has been rapid over the last 10 years. And it's quite sad. But I can't deny it. I can rage against it, but I still have to keep working in order to plan for it. So just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And I think that's one of the qualities you could argue from the TikTok videos that Generation X is used to. Yeah, you're a latchkey kid, you might not like it, but get out and live in the world. You don't have a smartphone, get out and like it, play football, climb up trees, chase girls, make mistakes, get a job, have kids, be responsible, fail, succeed, fail again, succeed 2 times more, take 1 step forward, get pushed 3 back, take 5 steps forward to make up for the 2 you've lost. All those different things I could say with perhaps a little bit, maybe not arrogance, but cockiness, that I've done all of that. And I'm sure millions have around the world, guys. Billions, especially in the Western world. And I don't know about the Eastern world, but I suspect it's the same. Hong Kong, China, they will have had the same attributes because they're human beings. And on the whole, it starts with responsibility. And that simple remark by Tim Dillon has got me thinking like that. And I was frustrated with him. Then I started laughing. I was like, oh, thanks, Tim. But then it made me look at something I see today. And you see, mass unemployment, people not being happy, the post-COVID pathology of people's expectations and involvement in the world has decreased, and birth rates collapsing, and all those different things, real perceived, media fed or not. There's clearly a different fundamental shift since 2018 and since before that. You could argue the economic crash of 2008. I'm not being political, I'm just pointing out what I've experienced. The politics of it all are not relevant in this. It's still about the individual. I still needed to go out and work, not because I wanted to. Trust me, guys, we're all the same, right? When I was toilet cleaning, I didn't want to get up and clean toilets, but they were paying me an inordinate amount of money because no one else wanted to do it. So I thought I can do that. And actually, I gave up the job because in the toilets I was cleaning, I went in, you have to put a sign outside the door when you're about to clean the woman's. I put a sign outside the door, pushed it open, shouted, you need to leave, waited 5 minutes, nobody came in and out. Yeah, great, went in, and there was a junkie on the floor, really ill. They were just that, so I literally had to get them out. And then I closed the toilet doors, cleaned up. There was no mess, to be fair, to the addict. I'm not judging the addict, that's just something I wasn't prepared to work with. I shut the door, posted the keys back through the public toilet door, and went to the pub for a pint and never did that job again. And hats off to anyone who can. I know, I'm digressing, I'm going off on little tangents. But Tim Dillon did this to me, and it's not fair. So I guess the basic question is, are we as Gen X, are we expecting to retire with a plan that would work for all our life, and we're now raging because that plan doesn't work? Or have we accepted that the plan needs to be changed, and therefore we've just got to get on and do it? And when it comes to getting people to work, I am struggling to get people to work for a business I work in. Not because people are lazy. Fundamentally, you can be a fundamentally lazy person, but on average, I say people aren't. So I engage people who work with me and for me in 2 elements. Human first, skill second. Very close, but I need to see your humanity, your attributes that make you fit into the workforce I want. I'm not talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes, including the humanity element of you, then your skills come with that. Or if I can train you to do the job and you don't have the skills, but you have the skills that I'm looking for in a human being. I've found great people, the reciprocity, the fair conditions, the fair pay, that it's worked, but it's taken a long, long time. But I would say I could advertise a job, get 500 CVs, and only 3 people might respond to if I reach out to say 30. 3 might reply back. And that's people who've actually applied for a job that my company has advertised, and I'm responding to their application. Say out of 500, we pick 50, only 2 or 3 of those will reply, and of those 3, 1 might get the job because the other 2 don't even turn up for interview. But the one person that we get, and it's hard work at the moment, The one person that we get, so far, we've had like a 90% retention rate. And they're not Gen X, actually. They're actually currently 26 and 27-year-olds. So they're out there, but you've really got to look for them. So I think that generation needs to emerge itself away from TikTok, away from the social media, and into responsibility and having to work all your life. That's taking a full circle back to Tim Dillon, that you're going to have to work all your life. The state isn't going to give you everything. Society isn't going to give you everything, because we just won't do that. What do you guys think? Am I just an absolute lunatic? Or does any of this resonate with you? Give me your thoughts and comments. Tell me your story. Share your observations. I'm Alan. These are the Chronicles. I'm supposedly Gen X. I still don't know fundamentally why, and I've talked about that in other videos. I'll link it. Till next time, guys. Subscribe. I'd love it. I'm going to be posting more content. Till next time, take care.